night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean in, feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Hear the whispers in the city's hum, echoes of stories where we're from. A beat, a step, a voice so clear, the pulse of us, it's all right here. We got soul, we got flavor. Every moment is a savior. Every experience is an overcomer. Turn
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. Y'all know I don't go live on Thursdays unless there is something that needs to be talked about in the culture. And oh, buddy, we have two big tours for you this evening. This tour that's happening right from this space right here, right now. Then join me back here at 8:30 tonight. Because, y'all, we're going to talk about Cardi B and Tasha K. Everybody else is talking about it, so I feel like I got the right to say something that's on my mind. And, oh, buddy, wait till you hear it. Okay, so we'll get to that here soon enough. Let's get to this tour, rather, though. Higher is waiting, low is available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is me. Hey, everybody, welcome and glad to have you here. Happy Thursday to each and every single one of you. So for those of you who do not know, ICE, the raging lunatic and mentally dilapidated organization, has done too damn much in Minneapolis, and they unalived a white woman in the middle of broad daylight. Now, I want to bring something to everybody's attention. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yep, sure am. Yep. Because I think sometimes we forget where we've been sometimes. Give me a moment now. So I get my share screen here. And I wanted to start off the show with this because I feel like it's important. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember that? Anybody remember that? That's when the president of the United States almost got deleted on the campaign trail. And I remember how everybody said that even though he does too damn much this, that, the third, he should not be deleted. Remember how Charlie Kirk got unalived in broad daylight and how there was, bills being passed for honoring Charlie for days and stuff like that. And, we should be, celebrating death and this, that, and the third. But remember what Tucker Carlson said of, if this administration is using Charlie Kirk's death to tell you what to think, how to move, and how to be, then we're in dangerous territory. Y'all remember that? And also remember that black brother who said, while I can not condone what happened to you in terms of you being alive, that doesn't mean the way you lived should not be negated, right? So I want everybody to remember this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to zoom in real quick, right there. Remember all that? I'll leave it up for, a couple of minutes. Because I want everybody to get the picture of what we're about to go tonight, mentally, okay? Like I said, this was not cool. And the fact that this was a white woman and they still don't care They still don't care. They still don't care. The song that comes to my head, Michael Jackson. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Okay? All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Sawyer, thank you so much. Jesus loves you. Don't give up. Keep up the good hustle. Thank you, Sawyer. I'm assuming that you've seen me a couple of times in these YouTube streets. So one love, much love, all love. I feel love and send it right back to you. Actually, let me pull up Michael Jackson's. They don't care about us. Because I want to read the lyrics. Because I think that they relate to where we are. Give me a moment. And of course, I would play the song, but you know, YouTube copyright, right? I'm gonna wait till it gets to the 7-minute mark because I really want everybody to take in that a president of the United States and Charlie Kirk got more love, grace, and space than a white woman that was powed in the middle of the day. That the president and Charlie Kirk got powed in the middle of the day, and they got more love, grace, and space than a white woman. Let me say that one more time for the one more time, rather. The president and Charlie Kirk got more love, grace, and space than a white woman that was powed in the middle of the day. And then J.D. Vance is saying, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. What if that was J.D. Vance's wife that got powed by ICE? What if it was his children? Oh, see, we got to go there on to understand here. I wonder what would happen if Ivanka was that woman. If Melania was that woman. If any of the daughters or granddaughters of the president were that woman. Not wishing that on any of them, but we got to make it personal in order to understand where we are. Just keeping it a buck. I remember when Steve Scalise got powed. That wasn't cool. Kids had to march for their lives. The NRA went bankrupt, praise be unto God, because they got too selfish in not recognizing that lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives do matter. Your life matters. My life matters. Everybody's life matters. Some more than others, but that's neither here nor there. But what we cannot do is let this day go by and not have it recorded in history. Just keep it in a book. Now, with all that being said, let me bring up Michael Jackson's lyrics here, because I think this goes to where we are. This song came out in 1995. I was 2 years old. Here's the lyrics. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Don't worry what people say. We know the truth. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Enough of this garbage. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Skinhead, deadhead, everybody, combat, situation, aggravation, everybody, allegation, in the suite, on the news, everybody, dog food, bang, bang, shock dead, everybody gone, man. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Beat me, hate me, you can never break me. Will me, thrill me, you can never kill me. Drew me, sue me, everybody do me. Kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Tell me what has become of my life. I have a wife and 2 children who love me. I'm a victim of police brutality. Now, I'm tired of being the victim of hate. You're raping me of my pride. You're raping me of my pride. For God's sake, I look to heaven to fulfill his prophecy. Set me free. Skinhead, deadhead, everybody gone mad, trepidation, speculation, everybody, allegation, in the suite, on the news, everybody, dog food, black man, black male, throw the brother in jail. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Tell me what has become of my rights. Am I invisible because you ignore me? Your proclamation promised me free liberty now. I'm tired of being the victim of shame. They be throwing me in a class with a bad name. I can't believe this is the land from which I came. You know, I really do hate to say it, but the government doesn't want to see. But Roosevelt was living. He wouldn't let this be. No. Skinhead, deadhead, everybody gone mad. Situation, speculation, everybody allegation. Beat me, bash me. You can never trash me. Hit me, kick me. You can never get me. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Some things in life they just don't want to see. But Martin Luther was living. He wouldn't let this be. No. Skinhead, deadhead, yeah. Everybody's gone bad. Situation, segregation, woohoo. Everybody, allegation in the suite, on the news. Everybody, dog food, woohoo. Kick me, kike me. Don't you wrong or right me. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. We're deep in the fire. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. I'm here to remind you. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Don't you sit back and watch the beating. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Ooh. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Now, that's the end of live. Good night, everybody. I'm joking with y'all. See, everybody is talking about what happened, but nobody is finding the soul of the entity of what this space is. And isn't it interesting? 1995 to 2025 would be what? 20 years, I think. Don't quote me now. So basically, I'm 31, so they have 30 years. 30 years that song has been in the world, and it still rings true today. Let's get to the business and doing what we do. So from KRE 11, ICE agents pals and deletes woman in Minneapolis. Walls puts natural on standby. Allen happened after Department of Home Security sent more than 2,000 ICE agents to the Twin Cities in the largest DHS operation ever. I'm not going to play the video because this woman deserves to be in peace. And quite frankly, I truly believe that within the space that I'm in mentally right now, I need to stay focused on the assignment. Okay, so here we go. Minneapolis, the Department of Homeland Security, DHS confirmed Wednesday morning that ICE agent palled and deleted a woman in Minneapolis. The incident happened Wednesday near 33rd Street and Portland Avenue. DHS alleged that woman attempted to run her car into ICE agents after seeing an agent palled her and hit her. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the officer defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him, and called the incident an act of domestic terrorism. However, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry said the DH version of what happened is false. It was done in self-defense. Is garbage. Fry said Friday in an afternoon press conference. They're already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. I haven't seen the video myself. That's bullshit. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the victim, sorry y'all, was a 37-year-old woman. In a joint statement, several Minneapolis City Council members later identified the woman as Renee Nicole Good. Renee was a resident of our city who was caring for her neighbors this morning, and her life was taken today at the hands of the federal government. Anyone who deletes someone in our city deserves to be arrested, investigated, and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The statement read, signed by Council President Elliot Payne and council members Jamal Osserman, Robin Wansley, Pearl Warren, Elizabeth Schaefer, Soren Stevenson, Jason Chavez, Asha Chontangi, Jameson Whitney, Arturan Chanahi, and Linda Pacino. There's nothing to indicate that she was the target of law enforcement activity, O'Hara said. Numerous video posts circulating on social media are also challenging the DHS narrative, with several graphic videos showing the interaction between the vehicle and agents and the moment POWs are fired before the vehicle crashes. So I'm not going to play the video. You will go somewhere else to find it. I am going to respect this woman and her family and her friends, because her family and her friends, Minneapolis needs support right now. It's not being supportive by replaying pain. A witness told KARE-11 that the victim was trying to flee from ICE agents when she was POW'd dead. A burgundy SUV was visible at the scene with a bullet hole through the driver's side windshield. The SUV then smashed to a light pole. What happened to be two damaged cars parked nearby. KRE-11's Jana Shorno said they heard Minneapolis officers saying this is a crime scene while taping off the air around the damaged cars. Chief O'Hara has said his force does not enforce immigration laws. Minnesota Senator Omar Fatah said in a post on Twitter that he received reports that a doctor was denied the ability to provide life-saving CPR for federal law enforcement. Oh, so in addition to committing a felony, you also stopped life-saving CPR. So would that make the federal government murderers? I wonder how the court will feel about the president of the United States, Kristi Noem, the administration, and that ICE agent being murderers. I wonder how that would go in court. And, I wonder what would happen if somebody in Minneapolis wanted to handle that ICE agent, his wife, and his children. Once again, not wishing that to the wife and children, but we got to make it personal or understand where we are today. All I want to say is they don't really care about us, because there is a thing as vigilante justice. And like the saying goes, I don't advocate for violence, but I do advocate for justice. There's a saying down south called family is police. And if we go back to this picture right here, like I said, it is so interesting to me that Charlie Kirk and the president got more love, grace, and space than a white woman who got POW'd in the middle of the day. So interesting to me that the president and a white man named Charlie Kirk got more love, grace, and space than a white woman. It's so interesting to me that the president and Charlie Kirk got more love, grace, and space than a white woman. Oh, but because she's not in the Republican Party, and because we can't use her like a prostitute to promote our agenda like the whore that Candace Owens is, she's no good, right? Right. I'm assuming Officer Tatum is sucking off the dick of enjoying all of this. Oh, I'm going there. Yeah, I'm going there. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a flying fuck at this point. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you so much, brother. Because we gotta go here, y'all. We got to. Imagine if that was Officer Tatum's wife and kids, POW'd in the middle of the day. I don't think he would like that. Not wishing that on the wife and kids. Well, that was Candace Owens' husband and child, POW'd in the middle of the day. Not wishing that on them. Let's get back to it. Fatih, alongside Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry and several city council members, was present at the 33rd Street and Portland Avenue. It was joined by multiple faith leaders shortly after the POW. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin issued the following statement. ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations. Rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of the violent rioters weaponized their vehicle, attempted to run over our law enforcement officers and attempt to delete them. ICE officer, fearing for his life and the lives of his fellow officers and the lives of the public, fired defensive shots, used his train and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. Thankfully, the ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. I wonder what would happen if Tricia McLaughlin was that woman. I wonder if her husband and kids were those people out in the middle of the day. Would she have the same energy if ICE did that to her family? See, we like I said, not wishing that, but we gotta make it personal or understand the magnitude of what we're speaking about here. There's a lot of people that don't want to go there, but if we don't understand where we are, history will repeat itself. And like I said, everybody who voted for this dumb fuck in his administration for all this hell, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You know what the gag is? You know what the gag is? This dumb fuck wouldn't care about any one of his supporters being pounded by ICE. Bet you that. Bet you that. Bet you that. He's trying to take away Medicaid, Medicare, Section 8 housing, early start, Obamacare credits. He said Tylenol caused autism. Meanwhile, this dumb fuck here had a whole report that blood can't go to his heart, his leg can be amputated at any time. Y'all elected him because he was a portal for you to be able to say, do, and move however you wanted to. But the gag was, while you thought he was a savior, he became a destroyer and destroyed what you had. In the words of Dr. Facilier, you got what you wanted, but you lost what you had. And now we got this. Yeah, don't feel too good, does it? Don't feel too good, does it? Don't feel too good, does it? Let's keep going. In a post on Twitter earlier in the morning, Walz asked Minnesotans to remain calm, said his team is working to gather information on the power. Walz held a news conference later Wednesday afternoon with Minnesota DPS Commissioner Bob Jacobson after he announced that he had placed the Minnesota National Guard on standby, saying soldiers are prepared to be deployed if necessary. They also reiterated the request for protesters to demonstrate peacefully in the hours ahead. Oh, okay, so you want protesters to demonstrate peacefully about a white woman who got unalived in the middle of the day. Yeah, let's see. Now, I wonder if that ICE agent got powed in the midst of all that. You want us to give a fuck about ICE when ICE didn't give a fuck about another human being? Like I said, not wishing down the ICE agent at all. No, not wishing that. In the same token, this is giving me the energy of that woman who got unalived in her home unnecessarily because the cop was a racist. Yeah, we're talking real grown tonight. Real grown. Okay, let's keep going. You want protesters to demonstrate peacefully about a white woman who got powed in the middle of the day, and there's no repercussions. Okay. This is why protesters form. Because the people that allow hell to reign, they allow hell to reign because they don't like to handle the business of being responsible for what the fuck they do. Our top priority is public safety. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, and law enforcement safe, especially during moments of high tensions and uncertainty, said Jacobs. We all want definitive answers for what happened today. Lieutenant Governor Petty Flagan also released a statement calling the power of unspeakable act of violence. ICE has committed an unspeakable act of violence today, powering and deleting a woman in South Minneapolis. These mass agents are out of control and creating real chaos in our state. ICE must leave Minnesota immediately before more people are hurt. In the face of their violence, let us remain peaceful, calm, and united. Minnesotans will not allow 47 and his thugs to turn our communities into war zones. Protesters continue to gather in the neighborhoods, some throwing snowballs in the direction of ICE agents. In response, law enforcement deployed tear gas and pepper spray. Oh, ICE agents are scared of a little snowball, but you're supposed to be powerful. You're supposed to be this and the third, huh? Motherfuckers. Now, your mamas didn't love you enough. All y'all should have been fucking swallowed as a one-night stand. And that goes to the men and women in ICE. Every single one of y'all's. Minneapolis police officers added metal barriers between federal agents and protesters while stating to the crowd that they are at the scene to keep the peace. Police removed the physical barriers around the crime scene just after 2 p.m., but hundreds of protesters still at the scene appeared to follow law enforcement vehicles as they left the area. A spokesperson for the Hennepin County Attorney's Office confirmed it does have the jurisdiction to charge the agent if warranted. Warranted? What the fuck? You need a warranted before somebody handles them disrespectfully. Just because New Year's Eve just happened don't mean that Minneapolis can't do another countdown, celebrate something. Okay? Use of force experts told KARE will depend whether prosecutors determine the officers' actions were unreasonable. They were unreasonable. What the fuck are we doing here? This incident occurred after Homeland Security deployed more than 2,000 ICE agents to the Twin Cities in the largest DHS operation ever. Department of Homeland Secretary Kristen Noem stated that more than 1,000 people have been arrested in the Twin Cities area as a part of the operation. The purpose behind Wednesday's ICE operation in the area is still unclear. You know what the mission was? To be racist, to be bigots, to be sexist, to be hateful and spiteful. Because of the president that they stick off of. Let's keep going. From the Hill, woman deleted by police. Deleted by ICE officer was mother new to Minneapolis. The Minneapolis woman fatally powered by Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officer on Wednesday was a mother new to the city. The Associated Press reported Renee Nicole Macklin-Good, whose death has sparked widespread outrage in the last 24 hours, was 37 years old, had 3 children, originally from Colorado. Her move to Minnesota was recent, according to the Associated Press. And you know what? At this point, I'ma just say it. I believe that ICE would delete some children too, Ed. Yeah, I do believe that. They don't give a fuck about women. They don't give a fuck about men. They probably don't give a fuck about kids. And what of it? We need to bring shame back. We need to bring holding your feet to the fire. We need to hold the energy of all skin folk and kinfolk. Like Issa Rae said, I'm rooting for everybody black. I wonder if that includes Amanda Seales, Issa Rae. Child. Listen. Macklin-Good says she was a poet and writer, wife and mom on social media accounts and experienced in Minneapolis per the Newswire. The fatal powering intense fervor debate on President 47's crackdown on legal immigration and deportation agenda. Department of Homeland Security DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said the powering occurred after violent rioters were trying to get involved in an immigration operation in the city. The administration has asserted Macklin-Good was acting as a domestic terrorist and accused her of using her car as a weapon. DHS Secretary Kristen Noem said Wednesday during a press conference that the responding officer was hit by Macklin-Good's vehicle. The officer was hit by the vehicle. She did hit him, Noem said. He went to the hospital. The doctor did treat him. He's been released, but he's going to spend some time with his family. She added that the agency would not pause ICE actions in the city. 47 also responded to the powering Wednesday afternoon after reviewing a video of the incident. It was a horrible thing to watch. He wrote, the woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. But let it be Ivanka, it would be a whole different story. The woman was driving the car, was very disorderly, obstructing, resisting, and then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seemed to have piled herself. Against the situation to be a study in its entirety. But the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis, 47 added. The president doubled down on the argument during an interview with the New York Times on later Wednesday. Wait a minute, why are you interviewing with the New York Times where you can't stand the New York Times? What? You wanted to sue the New York Times, but yet you did an interview with them? Where they do that at? Oh my God. Later Wednesday, Democrats have pushed back heavily on the 47 administration's claim there's no evidence that's been presented to justify the powering of an unarmed woman in Minneapolis. The so-called Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristen Noem, had zero credibility. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, told the Hill Sister Network News Nation on Wednesday, "She's a stone cold liar." He continued, "I would have said she's a stone cold killer at the podium my damn self." And what of it? And what of it? And what of it? He continued, "We gotta make sure that the rogue ICE agent who pulled the trigger resulting in the death of an American citizen is criminally investigated to the fullest extent of the law." Democratic National Committee Chair Ken Marr, who comes from Minnesota, also ripped the administration over its justification. Federal government under 47's command is not protecting the peace. He wrote online, 47 has provoked chaos and violence in our towns and cities as a part of his sick political theater. ICE has to leave Minnesota now. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Democrat, Wednesday afternoon issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard as protests continue. He also condemned the administration's explanation for the powering, urging the public to reject DHS's propaganda machine. So, a couple of updates for you all here from CNN. So, what you need to know, National Guard Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has authorized the state's National Guard to help support local law enforcement amid deepening tensions in the Minneapolis area, where an ICE agent fatally powed a woman yesterday on the ground. Now, protesters have been rallying in the Twin Cities throughout the day, with crowds expected to grow this evening. CNN teams have seen occasional clashes with law enforcement, including a recent flare-up outside a federal building. The investigation, Walz is calling on federal authorities to work with Minnesota officials on investigation into the powering after a state agency said it was denied access to key materials and forced to withdraw from the probe. Differing accounts, state and local officials have disputed claims that the powering was done in self-defense. Multiple videos of the incident reviewed by CNN show nuisance and exactly what took place before the powering remains unclear. ICE agent who Pal Renega has 10 years of experience and is on special response team. DHS says the Department of Homeland Security, who is not naming the ICE agent who fatally Pal Renega. Oh, somebody is going to reveal that name. Somebody is going to reveal that name. Somebody is going to reveal that name. And when that name gets revealed, what Glasses Malone did to Aiden Ross, that heat needs to be on that motherfucking piece of shit. Needs to be. Y'all couldn't get Kyle Rittenhouse handled. This needs to be handled socially. I mean, who fatally Pal Renega in Minneapolis, but did provide a little more background on the agent's experience. That agent has over 10 years of experience as a ICE deportation officer, is on the agency's special response team, which requires 30 hours of trials to be considered. Assistant Secretary Tristan McLaughlin said in a statement she did not say how long the agent has been on the special response team. To qualify for the team, agents are required to participate in a basic operator course, maintain expert marksman qualification on all issued firearms, and have ongoing training in the specialized skills like breathing techniques, program control, advanced firearms training, hostage rescue, and more, she said. Review what happened in the ICE power of a woman in Minnesota. CNN obtained multiple angles of the fatal powering of a woman by ICE agents in Minneapolis yesterday. The video walkthrough showing nuisance of what happened. What took place prior to the powering is unclear. So this is the fucking sick piece of shit bastard that needs to be disrespectfully handled right there. That's the person that did this shit. And look at that crowd right there, making it do what it do. Shout out to everybody who contributed to that. The protest is slated to begin at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, so 6:30 p.m. So the protest is beginning right now. Those are some updates for you all on this story here, and I want to play this for y'all from the Shade Room. Here we go.
We collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead and that she was shot by ICE. We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. We collectively are going to do everything. They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. To the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in. They are already trying to spin this in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time.
Hey, Justine Bow, good to see you, gorgeous. Glad to have you here. Love you.
Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being in the ambulance hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now. And justice is what we've all got to get. Hurt. Families.
Shout out to Jacob Fry. That man needs to run for president. And yes, the president needs to be charged for fucking murder. Yep, I said it. Charge the president for fucking murder. Charge the president for fucking murder. Charge that ICE agent for murder. Charge Kristen Noem for murder. Charge Christian McLaughlin for murder. Charge everybody in the administration for murder. We're going there. Because have been Melania, have been Tiffany, have been Ivanka, have been one of the grandchildren. This would have been a whole different story, and you fucking damn well know it. Now, y'all know we talk about Lottie Dottie and everybody in the words of Tea Talk with your girl, but in that same token, this channel goes the fuck off of what needs to be said more than her and most of the other content creators in this fucking broken sector. And that don't mean I don't love Tea Talk. She holds her own. But my Lord Jesus, I wish we would get the fuck out of talking about reality TV and talk about the reality that's going on with us. Because that could be any one of us. But oh no, we want to give a fuck about Papoose and Remy Ma. We don't give a fuck about the cat that Portia's eating. What? What? This too much for y'all? Am I offending you? Am I hurting your sensibilities? Y'all want to give a fuck about Drake more? The fuck? Shit. We have a culture of not giving a fuck until it happens to us. And how is that working out for us, huh? Shout out to Jacob Fry. That man needs to run for president. And I still love T-Talk with your girl. Don't ever get that twisted. The two things can be true at the same time. We need all of us to be out loud about this as much as we are about reality TV, gossip, and every fucking thing else. This is the woman right here. Bye. Prayers up to Renee Nicole Good. Give me a moment, bro. I'm still live, so hey, two people, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Now, this is Anna Presley. Breaking ice deleted a Minnesota woman broad daylight, and there must be accountability. But when I moved to subpoena all records and footage related to this murder, Republicans voted it down. They never cared about law and order or keeping our community safe. My heart is with the victim, her loved ones, and the Minnesota community. So I want to play this from Congressman Anna Presley. Here we go.
My motion to subpoena is pretty straightforward. Earlier today, a woman was shot multiple times and killed by immigration enforcement agents in Minnesota while we were holding a hearing on the state. And while there are claims that ICE did nothing wrong, the officials in Minnesota say otherwise. And since this committee is responsible for oversight of federal law enforcement, we must investigate. This subpoena will help us get to the truth, and it should have bipartisan support. And I urge my colleagues to vote yes.
It is a tie, so the motion fails. Does any other member have any business before the committee? Seeing none, without objection, the committee stands adjourned.
My motion to subpoena is...
But let it be that man's daughter, that man's wife, that man's granddaughter, daughters. Let it be his auntie, his grandmother, his niece, his cousin. Like I said, not wishing that on any of those women, nor am I wishing that congressman to be handled disrespectfully. But we got to make it personal in order to understand the magnitude of what we're talking about. Now, I want to bring this to your attention because this also happened today.
wake of this shooting, Minneapolis public schools have canceled classes for the next 2 days.
The teachers union says this comes after ICE showed up to the campus of one of their Minneapolis schools. Leah Bino is live. She's at Roosevelt High School where this happened this morning. Leah, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I want to be clear that the teachers union isn't saying quite yet, confirming what school site this ICE incident happened at, and neither is the district, although we have seen several reports online and looked at multiple videos that we're not showing you because they involve minors. But in some of those videos, you can actually see the kind of art installation that's right here in front of Roosevelt High School. You can see as plain as day in some of these videos that are online, indicating that and multiple reports that it did indeed happen here at Roosevelt High School. Excuse me if you can hear me while a garbage truck is going by. But with that, the Minneapolis Public Schools is saying that they are closing schools for the rest of the week out of an abundance of caution, not only classes, but that goes for any sports, any adult education, things after school, and community events at their sites. Here's the statement I want to show you from overnight that the teachers union shared, shedding a little more light on their perspective of what happened. They said this afternoon, meaning yesterday afternoon, ICE deployed tear gas during a site's dismissal and abducted an MFE member who was doing their job supporting a safe dismissal process for their site. This member has since been released. We will not tolerate ICE inhibiting our city's youth from their constitutional right to attend school safely or inhibiting educators from doing their jobs. Now, watching some of those videos, as I said, online that who have a lot of minors in them, it showed dozens and dozens of kids in the area when that tear gas was dispersed. We have reached out again to the teachers union, to the district, and to DHS for more clarity on what happened. We, of course, will bring you any of that information as we get it throughout the morning and the day. Back to you guys.
And school closed for the next few days throughout Minneapolis public schools. Thank you, Leah.
Imagine
I told you that ICE don't care about kids. I told y'all that shit. Now, what if they wanted to delete a kid just because they felt like it? Oh, yeah, I'm saying that about ICE. Every single person in ICE. And you know what? I want to come on the big screen because I remember saying something to my mother. Not my mom, my mother. Not my mom, my mother. I said, and quote, if there is a black officer in a family, they deserve to be taken to task. And my mom said, Bray, you can't go there with them like that. Why not? They got enough of a dick or a vagina to go out there and support all this. They should be taken to task. I don't give a damn fuck or shit who you are. If you are an officer in a family, you deserve to be taken to the cross. Whatever we don't confront, we allow. The truth dies because some of y'all allow lies. The truth dies because some of y'all allow lies to live. The truth dies because some of y'all allow lies to fucking live. I love you, mama, very much. Without you, there is no me. But you also raised me to stand up for what's right. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I'm tired of marching. Tired of fighting for something that should have been mine at birth. And I don't mind saying to you tonight that I get a little uneasy, unworried, and unnerved that my life matters or not. And there's some days I begin to doubt, but I must confess I'm tired. Let's keep going. Jasmine Crockett, also known as Jasmine Crockett Lee. Oh, man. All right, y'all, here we go.
Step up in this moment because there are going to be protests around this entire country because of the state-sanctioned execution that we all saw.
Give me a moment. Let me refresh it. All right, here we go, y'all. Jasmine Crockett Lee. Miss Jasmine Lee, Miss Lee, if you're nasty, let's keep
up in this moment because there are going to be protests around this entire country because of the state-sanctioned execution that we all saw unfold unless there is some kind of justice that takes place and we get the name of that officer and that officer is prosecuted. So I ask that law enforcement, we have oversight over them. I am the oversight ranker. Let's go ahead. In fact, I make a motion that we have a hearing in the oversight subcommittee as it relates to this particular issue and what took place. Step up in this moment because there.
Amen. 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 Jimmy Kimmel always coming through, saying what needs to be said in the neighborhood. From Variety.com, Jimmy Kimmel slams Maniac 47 for the ICE powering death and blame on the radical left, our law enforcement officers. Jimmy Kimmel branded 47 a maniac. I would say a racist, biggest, sexist, destroyer, charlatan. It's many other words. His own mother said he was stupid and shouldn't get into politics. In reaction to the president's Truth Social post about the shooting, powering death, Renee Nicole Good, 37-year-old U.S. citizen, was fatally powed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis, Minnesota on January 7th. 47 defended the ICE agent by saying the powering was an act of self-defense and blaming the incident on the radical left threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. I've just viewed the clip of the event, which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. 47 posted on Truth Social. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have powed her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe that he's alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety because the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. The president continued. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. This maniac, Kimmel said, his January 7th monologue. Now, I saw this video. It didn't look like anybody got run over to me. It looked like a woman got scared and tried to drive away, and they powed her out before the court to decide. The mayor of Minneapolis, though, had this to say. Kimmel threw to a clip of the city's mayor, Jacob Fry, slamming Mac's defense of the pound by saying this was an agent recklessly used in power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. I have a message for ICE. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis. This is the second time in a month that Kimmel has criticized 47's response to a tragic death. 47 reacted to filmmaker Robert Redner's death by saying it was due to anger he caused to others through his 47 derangement syndrome. Kimmel fired back on the president, hateful and vile. Now, I'm going to just say this. Let's go back to this. Because Rob Reiner and his wife got unalived by their son. Gee, I wonder what would happen if Don Jr., 47 Jr., and Eric Jr. did the same thing that Robert Reiner's son did to their dad. That wouldn't be too nice, would it? Not wishing that, obviously. But we got to make it personal or understand where we are. Let's get back to it. Kimmel fired back on the president, hateful and vile. What is needed at a time like this, besides common sense when it comes to PALs and mental health care, is compassionate leadership. We did not get that from our president because he has none of it to give. Instead, we got full rambling about nonsense. Very well said, good sir. And now we're going to watch this clip here from Jasmine Crockett. Here we go, y'all.
Thank you so much. It is so hard to sit here sometimes because I didn't come to Congress to write laws or to do things that are hurting people. I'm just asking if there's any decency or heart or courage on that side of the aisle. The fact that a woman was killed, she was shot in her head, and y'all are pretending like nothing happened. I remember when Charlie Kirk got killed. Do you remember what our response was? Our response wasn't to sit there and pretend like it was okay. Is it okay because you have a badge? Because the last time I checked, allegedly no one is above the law. Can y'all not just have a little bit of courage and humanity? A child. A child has lost her mom. And y'all want to pretend that it is okay. I am asking if there is anyone that will stand for the very people that elected us and sent us to Congress. You tell us things like, well, the immigrants are bad. And so we got to get all these bills because the immigrants are the ones that are causing the harm. They're bringing the crime. The mayor of Minneapolis told y'all to get the fuck out. Yet y'all are the ones, it is this administration that is bringing crime to their streets. That's what's happening.
It's the third incident where somebody has dropped an F-bomb in this committee, including the video.
I'm sorry.
Including the video that we had to watch earlier.
Are your princess ears okay?
Is it profanity?
The princess ears okay?
First of all, princess ears, really? Really? Y'all big mad because she's repeating words that were said. Those words were said, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. But let it be that congressman's child that gets deleted tonight. Let it be his wife that gets deleted tonight. God forbid, let it be him that gets deleted tonight. I bet you it won't be a princess sound in his fucking ear when that bullet goes through his fucking brain. Not wishing that, obviously, on him, his wife, and his children, or any family member or friend of his. But this is fucking disgusting.
You are about the fact that a woman.
Are you House of Representatives?
The gentlelady. Are we offending your princess ears? Are they that soft?
All members will.
Maybe some of the kids out there.
Mr. Chairman, it is the gentlelady's
They're killing
time.
them.
Kids.
It is the gentlelady's time. Let's let her have her time.
It is the gentlelady's time. Would you stop the clock for a moment? Okay, and I'll restore that. The chair will remind all members that the person controlling the time is not to be unreasonably interrupted. We would further admonish that whenever possible to express the full meaning of something, it be done so without an expletive that may be offensive to people here in the audience.
Motherfucker, are you serious? That's what the mayor said. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis. So y'all mean to tell me y'all holier than thou? He or she, as I said, cast the first stone. Hallelujah, blaze, Jesus. Oh, you want the fire? 1, 2, 3, fire. Y'all really that well in y'all right mind? Get the fuck out of here.
For those who watch this on television, I understand that a quote at times is essential, but I would admonish everyone that it has been the practice of this committee for the many years I've been here to use such things as F-bomb in order to get the message out without actually using the word. Notwithstanding that, the gentlelady will be recognized for this time plus an additional 20 seconds. The gentlelady may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Long story short, we are sitting in judiciary and no one on that side of the aisle seems to care that this particular person, whose name we don't know at this point, became the judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know how you square that. And then we're sitting here literally in markup for a bail funds bill. When I first ran for office, it was in the midst of yet another lynching by law enforcement in Minneapolis. At that time, it was George Floyd. I remember working as a pro bono criminal defense attorney to help protesters that were being arrested. There were more than 600 protesters that were arrested in Dallas. There were churches that came together to make sure that there were bail funds. There were nonprofit organizations. And to explain how it works for bail, since we're in judiciary and we're writing the laws, and some people may not understand this, But those bail funds, those nonprofit organizations are not the ones that determine whether or not somebody gets bail. What they do is they help out poor people, which I know y'all are not interested in either. But they help out people that aren't rich and famous and have limitless amounts of money, like all of the Epstein defendants who somehow y'all can't find, even though y'all went and got Maduro. But it helps out those people to be able to get out of jail. Many of those people that if they spend just a couple of days in jail will then be thrust into straight up poverty because they will lose everything. Why it is that you want to criminalize people such as churches that are trying to help the poor because they understand what the Bible says, and they don't just say that they understand it or say that they love Jesus, but they decide that they actually put it into works because faith without works is dead.
Come on.
That is wrong too. And I'm here to tell you that there's going to be a lot of nonprofit organizations that are going to step up in this moment because there are going to be protests around this entire country because of the state-sanctioned execution that we all saw unfold, unless there is some kind of justice that takes place and we get the name of that officer and that officer is prosecuted. So I ask that law enforcement, we have oversight over them. I am the oversight ranker. Let's go ahead. In fact, I make a motion that we have a hearing in the oversight subcommittee as it relates to this particular issue and what took place.
And they all shot down the motion. But what I want to say to each and every one that shot down, if your wife gets deleted, if your kids get deleted, if a family member, a friend gets deleted, keep that same fucking energy. We're talking real grown tonight. So if you can't handle it, if it's too much for you, if you care more about Toss Away K than civil rights, get the fuck on. Okay? We got bigger issues here. Now, we're gonna listen and watch the one, the only, the legend that he is, Brian Tyler Cohen, talking to a congressman because Congress did take action against these rogue ICE agents. Before that, I wanted to show you all something that just came in from ABC News. Give me a moment. Right here from ABC News 7 minutes ago. Here we go.
Local and federal sources tell ABC News that federal agents shot 2 people in Portland, Oregon. We're learning that the circumstances right now are a little unclear, but the FBI is responding. The agents who shot, we're told, are with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The FBI will be investigating and lead as the lead agency. I want to bring in ABC News' Alex Stone, who is tracking the developments here. And Alex, I recognize that a lot of this is still very, very fluid. But what can you tell us so far?
Yeah, generally, what we know at this point, Alex, is a short time ago, and the FBI is responding right now, that they will be the ones investigating this, that it was a shooting involving federal agents from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not ICE, in the Portland area, and that there was a man and a woman, we're told, who were shot. They are being transported right now. There was a city council meeting that was going on for the Portland City Council. They have abruptly ended that, or put that on hold right now. This is all unfolding at this point, but a shooting has occurred, Alex.
So that just broke 7 minutes ago. So as one life is leaving, there are 2 other lives that could be leaving right from this space right here, right now. We all had one job November 4th and everybody else fucked up. Just know if you get palled by ICE, the president's not going to give a fuck about you. None of his administration, none of the supporters that support him in the administration, none of y'all MAGA supporters are going to rally around and make sure that person's okay. Because y'all don't give a fuck about each other. Y'all give a fuck about being anybody. because you are nobody. All y'all should have been swallowed by your fucking mothers as a one night stand. Let's roll on to the one, the only, the legend that he is, Brian Tyler Cohen. Here we go.
I'm joined now by Congressman Dan Goldman. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
So I want to start with a little bit of breaking news right here. We have all seen the situation unfolding in Minneapolis, where an ICE officer executed an American citizen. So first and foremost, can I have your reaction to this kind of major update at the hands of an increasingly rogue, lawless agency?
Yeah, it is so upsetting. It is infuriating, and it is sadly not surprising. It was just a matter of time until something like this happened. ICE officers are going around the country causing chaos, inciting violence, inflaming tensions, using far excessive force, and frankly, just trying to create fear and havoc in communities. While not going after the worst of the worst that they promised they were going to try to deport. They're also, Brian, and this is something I don't think has gotten enough attention, with the absurd amount of money that the big ugly bill gave to ICE. They are hiring with $50,000 bonuses at an incredibly fast rate. They are bypassing normal training standards and requirements and sending people out to do this work who are not trained, not qualified, and not experienced. And it was just a matter of time until this happened. I'm actually surprised it has taken this long, but it is a real wake-up call to the department. Should be, let's put it this way, it should be a real wake-up call to Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security, and Stephen Miller, who is clearly the driver behind all of this immigration policy. And unfortunately, what we've seen from them in response is the exact opposite.
Can you talk a little bit about what you've done in terms of pushing back against these extrajudicial efforts at the hands of ICE?
Yeah, we've been really devoting a tremendous amount of time to this. My district office in Manhattan is across the street from 26 Federal Plaza, which is where most of the immigration courts are in New York City, and where the detention facility is that ICE has been using to keep the large number of detainees that they've been picking up, the vast majority of whom have no criminal history at all, arrest or conviction. And many are following legal pathways to come to this country and are therefore being illegally removed. So we've taken a number of different measures from the macro to the micro. On the macro level, I've introduced several bills, one that would unmask ICE agents, one that would prevent them from arresting immigrants who are going to court for court appearances or going to ICE for immigration check-ins, as they are required to do by law, where they're sabotaged and booby trapped almost, and just grabbed from court. And I've also came up with a lawsuit that we recently won. 11 of my colleagues and I filed a lawsuit against the DHS to allow us to conduct oversight of these immigration detention facilities. The one in my district at 26 Federal Plaza had already been ruled to be inhumane and unconstitutional by a judge. And we saw some video of 90, 100 people in a very small space, staying there for 2-3 weeks, no showers, toilets just in the middle of these large rooms where they're staying, horrific conditions. We won that lawsuit, and I've been able to now go do oversight of that facility. And surprise, surprise, knowing that I may be coming, and I've both advised them I'm coming once, and I've come unannounced another time. The conditions are very different. It's spick and span, which is good. That's the
I would just come unannounced.
And then finally, we've really set up a on-the-ground triage center in my district office, where advocates, court watchers immediately bring families of loved ones who have been detained and arrested, and they bring them over, and we we've got a whole process where we make sure that the family is okay, that they're going to have food, healthcare, shelter if they need it. We refer them to lawyers who can file habeas petitions very quickly, and we get them to sign the release so that we can advocate for them with ICE if they don't have their possessions or otherwise. And it's made a difference. 9 immigrants have been released as a result of these efforts in the last month or so.
As we watch the situation in Minnesota, for example, play out, do you have any concern that the Trump administration will use this inevitable violence that we're going to see as a pushback to the fact that ICE just killed an American citizen, use that to basically ramp up whether it's National Guard or U.S. military, in very much the same way that, you know, when ICE was sent into Los Angeles and inevitable protests grew against ICE, that Trump used that as the inciting incident, as some justification to then send in the National Guard there. And so they kind of benefit from having these awful moments because it gives them a pretext to be able to say, oh, look at all this violence. There's an invasion, there's an insurrection, there's a rebellion. We need to send in our troops. Do you have any concern that this is going to be used kind of to their benefit to further clamp down in a way that this administration clearly wants to do?
I have had a concern about this for a long time. It's part of the reason I wrote a letter to the NYPD urging them to be prepared to arrest ICE agents who go rogue.
Yep.
Because this is all part of the plan that Donald Trump has created to make up this violence and chaos in these cities, to send ICE in, to have the ICE agents use excessive force, to try to have them incite violence and incite protests that they then will inflame and potentially turn violent, so that Donald Trump can then say, oh, well, we need now the National Guard to go in,
right,
because there's so much violence that was incited by the federal government itself.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is all part of a pattern where Donald Trump is clearly trying to create so much unrest that he can invoke the Insurrection Act or he can invoke the Alien Enemies Act so that he can clamp down even more. And it's been clear to me for quite some time that this is the pathway that he's been going, and there are no guardrails. And Stephen Miller is running this. He's a dangerous person. He is legitimately a really dangerous person who is kind of
he carries that
evil character straight out of a dictatorship movie, The Right-Hand Man, who does all the dirty work. And the fact that he claimed that what happened today in Minneapolis was domestic terrorism by the victim,
yeah,
is the type of gaslighting that we see with January 6th, that we see this administration doing all the time. There's no domestic terrorism. In fact, she was trying to get away, and that is crystal clear when she was shot several times in the head.
Yeah.
So any which way, it was completely uncalled for, unnecessary, and far excessive of what, even under their best circumstance, which I don't think it is, that is not how you respond. And to have the support of the officer by Stephen Miller, by Kristi Noem and DHS is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And we on the Homeland Security Committee are already talking about different ways that we can respond to this because we're not going away.
I want to switch gears a little bit here. We've obviously seen the Trump administration execute its incursion into Venezuela to bring Nicolas Maduro to the United States. That has kind of whetted Trump's appetite now, and he's threatened the same thing in Cuba, in Colombia. Now there's an increased probability that he may actually go into Greenland, and the administration refused to rule out military intervention there. So can I get your reaction to the fact that we may be seeing kind of return to imperialism 2.0 now that Trump has decided that he wants to own the Western Hemisphere?
Yeah, you heard that correctly. He wants to own Greenland. Remember how he tried to own Canada? What do I always tell y'all? If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. I know it's difficult to have a perspective, to recognize other people. But the only way this world works is if we work together, not divide each other. But every once in a while, somebody got to come out here and be the voice of reason. And I'm not saying I'm the person that could save the world. In the words of Max Kellerman, if the fate of the world was on the line, laser beam on the globe, in 1 second, who will be chosen? Probably wouldn't be me. Like I always say, I may not be the best, I may not be the worst. I'm probably number 100 on the short list. But I promise you, I would have a cavalry before any other motherfucker, because somebody gave a fuck about me. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's one thing when you at least argue, I think legitimately, that there's serious narco-terrorism going on in a number of these different countries that is dangerous and damaging to the public safety and national security of Americans. That is certainly not enough to do what they did, what he did in Venezuela, to use that as a pretext to effect a military operation with no plan for a day after. That we know how this works. We've seen this movie before in Iraq and Afghanistan. But, you know, Maduro was a really bad person who has been charged with very serious crimes. I would feel like that was more of the objective if Donald Trump had not pardoned the Honduran president,
right,
who had committed the same crimes as Maduro.
And by the way, come out and said that the whole basis for this was to take the oil.
Exactly. And that he notified the oil companies, but not Congress,
right,
in order to do this. So it's clear that's not really his mission, but at least it's colorable. Greenland is part of Denmark, which is a NATO ally that we are obligated to not only not invade, but to defend.
Yeah.
And there has no allegation that Greenland has done anything wrong, anything at all wrong to the United States. So this is just an outrageous Putin-esque land grab. It is no different than Vladimir Putin. Actually, it's worse in some respects than Vladimir Putin just saying, I'm going into Ukraine and I'm taking it, because it's a NATO ally. So even just the talk of it is preposterous. It is obviously a violation of international law, a violation of NATO, a violation of everything, but a violation of American values. And that has to have an impact at some point. Are the House Republicans, are the Senate Republicans ever going to stand up for American values, for morality, for democracy and what we stand for the last 250 years? We are ruining our reputation around the world, absolutely eviscerating it, and it is not easy to get back. And we are no longer the leader of the free world. Donald Trump himself is a thug and wannabe dictator that is following the Vladimir Putin playbook. And if the Republicans in Congress don't actually stand up and say Congress is its own independent body that is...
And by the way, for those of you who don't know, media is the fourth branch of government. There's the executive, judicial, legislative, and media is the fourth branch to keep all three branches of power in check. Do your research. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Owes an oath to the Constitution, independent from Donald Trump, then I am very worried about what is going to happen in the next 12 months until we take back the majority in January of 2027.
Yeah, well, something tells me that Mike Johnson isn't exactly going to be receptive to that plea. But with that said, I mean, we
don't need Mike Johnson, by the way. You know, if we get a critical mass of Republicans, that's all we need.
Right, and we've seen instances
we just need any of them other than Thomas Massie to actually stand up.
Yeah, and we've seen, a record number of discharge petitions pass as the result of the fact that even these Republicans are recognizing, or some Republicans are recognizing, that Mike Johnson's slavish fealty to Donald Trump isn't worth losing their own jobs over. So we have seen this abdication of America First values. Obviously, this is the opposite of what Trump promised on the campaign trail. But it's not just on foreign policy; it's also on domestic policy, because Trump had all these promises about affordability that have not come to pass. And so, can you talk a little bit about the work that you've done as far as affordability is concerned, as we head toward a midterm cycle where that is the principal issue on Americans' minds?
Yeah, look, the betrayal of his promises on the campaign the list is too long, but there's no question that at the top of that list is his economic policy. And it would be one thing if the economy soured, maybe perhaps not totally his fault, and he was doing things to try to do it and it didn't work and inflation was going, whatever it is. But he has so intentionally targeted working Americans for the benefit of billionaires. That it's insulting to our intelligence. And just yesterday, he announced that he was going to withhold $10 billion for childcare from 5 blue states that he doesn't like. That's the way.
Let me repeat that for you all. He's going to hold back $10 billion from 5 blue states for children to get child care. Let me come on the big screen real quick. 5 blue states are not getting funding for child care because this dumb fuck doesn't give a fuck about anybody else except himself. Children. I did say ICE didn't care about children, didn't I? I did say that. It looks like the president doesn't care about children either. What a shocking concept! Let's get back to it. Oh, and that also goes for his administration and his supporters too. Yeah, yes it does. Yeah. Also goes for all the Hollywood elites that support the president too. Yeah, y'all don't care about children, men, women, and y'all don't even give a fuck about babies. Yeah, animals. Y'all probably did what Michael Vick did in Dogfight. What the fuck? Not to mention sex trafficking and everything else. My Lord, man. What did Michael Jackson say? All I want to say is they don't really care about us. Let's keep going.
The way that he is operating. Childcare that is so essential to every family. And he continues to target that. He continues to favor the oil companies and the billionaires at the expense of the Americans. And so I recently introduced a bill that I think tackles a lot of this problem, which it really goes after the super wealthy who do not pay their fair share because Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they pay a 1% and a 3% effective tax rate. They do that because rather than sell their stock and have to pay capital gains, they borrow against their stock and they don't pay any tax on those loans. And so I introduced the Robinhood Act, which quite simply would put a capital gains tax, 20%, on those loans so that they could not avoid paying taxes on the money that they're using, the billions of dollars that these billionaires are using. And that would generate almost $30 billion, which would be more than enough to pay for universal child care and then have some money left over. And so this is the kind of solution that we need to be thinking about to address massive wealth inequality that is making it too difficult for too many to access the American dream, even out the opportunities available to Americans, and provide more revenue to lift up the floor, the safety net that every American should get.
Is there any Republican co-sponsor of that legislation?
There isn't yet, but I will tell you I have had at least one Republican, I've talked to another one about it, who indicated to me that they like the bill.
Yeah.
And what I'm hopeful for is it's not passing tomorrow or this term. But at some point in divided government, there's going to need to be a compromise.
Yep.
And the Democrats are going to demand more revenue. And the Republicans are going to have to compromise. And this to me is an area where, even just judging from my Republican colleagues' reactions, they might be able to swallow this one better than some of the others.
Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful that this will really become a bigger part of the conversation as we move forward in trying to tackle wealth inequality, trying to help our working families.
Okay, so we'll leave it there. I do want to note for folks who are watching right now that you have launched your re-election campaign in your district in New York. So for folks who are looking to learn more, I'm going to put the link to your website right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video. Congressman, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being with you, Brian, as always.
Shout out to Brian Tyler Cohen and also Dan Goldman. Prayerfully that you will get reelected for sure, good sir. This is a live look in Minneapolis. Protest is happening right from this space right here, right now. And the words of Patrick Heyman, 6739, give ICE their own medicine. I say go forth, prosper, and don't miss. Socially, of course. Now, we're going to end this thing with somebody that you need to know about. Y'all know about Loving, the interracial relationship that shook the world. And I need you to know about this person right here. Here we go.
All this month, WVTM 13 Project Community recognizes those who broke barriers and raised the bar for everyone. One of those extraordinary people, Viola Gregg Luuzzo. Born in California in 1925, Luuzzo later answered the call to become an Alabamian after watching news broadcasts of state troopers ruthlessly attacking demonstrators in Selma on Bloody Sunday. After her move, Luuzzo helped the Southern Christian Leadership Conference shuttle marchers between Selma and Montgomery, while also helping to organize the marches. On March 25th, 1965, Luuzzo would lay down her life for the civil rights movement when the car she and a local Black activist were traveling in was shot at by Klansmen in a high-speed chase in Selma. Luuzzo was killed instantly. The activist was injured and escaped by pretending to be dead. 4 men were acquitted on state charges in her death, but were later federally charged. 3 of the 4 Klansmen were convicted, her death marking the first time a Klan member had been convicted in such a case, also fueling the push to get the 1965 Voting Rights Act passed in Washington.
Why waste another summer? I wanted to bring that woman up because she stood for what's right. Isn't it interesting that back in the 50s, a white woman got unalived by her own race because they didn't want somebody to be free to defend other people. And there was a white woman that got unalived in Minneapolis. And everybody seems to care about reality television, gossip, and everything in between rather than what needs to be said. Shout out to Viola Luuzzo. Shout out to the good sister that has passed away and should still be here. Her name, once again, everybody, is the one, the only, the beautiful Renee Nicole Good. And to end this live, I'm going to, of course, use a song. Now, I use Michael Jackson, They Don't Care About Us, in the beginning of this live. I am going to use that song. Right here. Those of you who know it, you know it. I think we need this song right now. I'm limited. Just look at me. I'm limited. And look at you. You can do all I couldn't do, Linda. So now it's up to you. For the both of us, it's now up to you. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn. and we are led to those who help us most to grow. If we let them and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun. Like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I've learned from you. You will be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea. Like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask for forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share. And none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit, like a ship blown from its mooring, as it passes a sun, by a wind off the sea, like a stream that meets a boulder, like a seed dropped by a bird, halfway through the wood in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, I have been changed for good. I think that's the way we should end this show this evening. And I said everything I meant and meant everything I said. I have love for everybody that deserves it. Yes, I know I said what I said about Tea Talk with your girl tonight. Absolutely. I stand on that. Will not run away from that. I will be one of those 3 boys in the fiery furnace, but just believe I'll come out with soot on my clothes and I won't be burned. Because even she knows that through everything we've been through, I've always been there for her. And that I stand on business. And that higher is way ain't low is available, but either way, we're going to go on to her. And she knows I've always been about the people. So I want to get that cleared up. So the 3 things I'm going to tell y'all about this moment in time. For one, rage is a good thing, but we have to be responsible for how we utilize it. The thing that we want to do, the thing that should be done, like when George Zimmerman did what he did and everybody tried to find him, he is homeless, decrepit, and he has lost his mind. And he can't find work. My mama said something a long time ago. She said, God can take care of people better than you can. So if you're going to rage, utilize your voice and don't allow people to use your voice. That's the first thing I'll tell you. The second thing I'll tell you is we have this year, next year, and the year after that. If we allow ourselves to be moved by other people's movements, we will never be able to move again. Recognize there is power in being responsible for how you contribute to movements. That's the second thing I'll tell you. And finally, the third thing I'll tell you is that I think about my hometown a lot of Little Rock, Arkansas. I think y'all know that about me by now. And the one thing about my hometown is that it's not really the biggest known town in America, but it still has an impact. And I relate that to Lovecraft Country and the Book of Names. If you really want to honor the past and you want to create a future, embrace this present that you have a chance to honor those Book of Names that never got the chance to grow up to be known as a name. And I know it's easier said than done, but the reason why people want to take out that Book of Names is because they know there's power in that book. When you give a fuck about power, you will always be able to maintain. But when you are careless with power, you will be handled disrespectfully. So be aware, be about your business, and know that you can be somebody of a solution and not anybody causing problems. So with that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say one more special, because you are always born a blessing and trust. You may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Wise one thing to call yourself is another thing. Be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. And hopefully by spending time together, we'll rock some great together. And always remember, whether you're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or you're just recognizing that maybe that while some elders are lost, gone, and they have mentally piled themselves in the field because they don't want to give a fuck about anybody else, if it's not entertaining to them, that should not mean that we should not pick it up and continue on. Make sure the replay is not just worth for you to watch it, not just worth for you to listen to it, but if you want to experience it again, I love you, I value you, I embrace you all. Always remember, receive love, you gotta give it, receive love, you gotta give it, receive love, you gotta give it. Whatever obstacles you've overcome, whatever successes you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Be proud of your damn self. And finally, I know not every elder is a bad elder, but good damn, some of y'all fucked up. And do you not think it's sad that a 31-year-old gives more of a fuck about the world than y'all that are supposed to be the people that are resources? And to anybody that wants to comment down below and tell me off at this, that, and the third, pull up my YouTube channel versus others before you check at me. Because they can't do a fifth quarter or a half of what I do. They would mentally choke. Some people can't handle the real. That's because they only come. And some people can't handle talking about the real. That's why they only come on one day a week to talk about anything that's important. Now, that's not to say coming on weekly doesn't help. But if the civil rights movement was weekly, we will still be Negroes, colors, niggas still in the field. We got one more tour tonight, 8:30. I'll see you then. But if this is your final tour for the evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you based on your location. And by the way, to all the elders and young people that don't want to cover this, just because you are a house Negro or a house colored or a house nigga, don't mean that you have privilege on the inside. Commercial break and fireworks are coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's coming, for the blessings on the way for you, me, all of us, as a society, as a people, as a culture. I feel the love and send it right back to you.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Are video games getting too expensive? This episode, we want to find some common ground because the CEOs want to raise the price even more.
Not with these broken ass games.
$5 million. That's how much San Andreas costs to make. Is it their fault for selling or our fault for buying?
Corporations claim all this stuff. Devs say otherwise.
Sports gamers, cozy gamers, whatever you call the people who play Power Wash Simulator.
I think it stinks a little bit more because I'm spending my actual money and my mom is not. Imagine they get rid of all movie theaters and then charge you the same price to watch the same movie at home.
That's like every streaming service. It doesn't have to be the longest of games, but am I having fun with it? This is Lex. I'm Ronell. Let's get right into it. Our video.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Really, you f***ing punk? That's what you're gonna f***ing do?
What?
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 What? Do you know what the f*** is that is for?
Back up.
What is that for?
Back up.
What is that for?
Back up.
What is that for?
Back up.
You're gonna push me? What is that for?
Back up.
What was that
I don't
for?
give
You don't give a f*** about her?
up.
Bro, this is why we're here.
Back up.
This is why we're here.
Doing is illegal. Sir, no, you back up. I got authority on this block, just like you think you do. You can't snatch people off the street without a warrant.
We're conducting.
And I'm telling you right now, federal or not, it's against the law. I'm an officer of the law too, hermano. You put hands on anyone out here, you. Watch me. Up against the pillar.
Yeah, right. About time, y'all.
Keep quiet.
Let's go NYPD.
What you doing is illegal. Sir, no, you back up. I got authority on this block, just like you think you do. You can't snatch people off the street without a warrant.
We're conducting.
And I'm telling you right now, federal or not, it's against the law. I'm an officer of the law too, hermano. You put hands on anyone out here, you. Watch me. Up against the pillar.
Yeah, right. About time, y'all.
Keep quiet.
Let's go NYPD.
What you doing is illegal. Sir, no, you back up. I got authority on this block, just like you think you do. You can't snatch people off the street without a warrant.
We're conducting.
And I'm telling you right now, federal or not, it's against the law. I'm an officer of the law too, hermano. You put hands on anyone out here, you. Watch me. Up against the pillar.
Yeah, right. About time, y'all.
Keep quiet.
Let's go NYPD.
Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.
Immigration, open up. We need to come inside right now. Do you have a warrant signed by a judge? Please slide it under the door so I can examine it. We're federal agents. You need to cooperate and open this door immediately. This is an administrative warrant signed by ICE, not a judge. I don't consent to entry into my home. You're making this harder on yourself. We can wait out here all day. I'm exercising my constitutional rights. I choose to remain silent and I want to talk to my attorney. My attorney taught me that ICE needs a judicial warrant signed by a judge to enter my home. Administrative warrants signed by ICE don't give them the authority. Immigration, open up. We need